Whoa, okay. Let me just. Okay, sorry about that. Today we are going to be reviewing. Today we will review the movie The Rocker, starring Rainn Wilson, who you might know from the series The Office. And if you haven't seen this movie, please go watch it. If you like The Office and you like his character Dwight in The Office, you will love this movie. 110% because he's so funny in this movie, and there is quite a bit of slapstick comedy in this movie, but his deliverance of his jokes and just his personality in this movie works so well. And the opening scene makes me laugh every time, regardless of how many times I've seen this. And I've seen this movie quite a few times. It's definitely in my top 5. It might actually be my I would say it's probably my third favorite film of all time. By the time this one goes up, the Punisher review will be up, so you'll already have known that that's my favorite film of all time. And hopefully I can get the movie Doomsday done here in a couple of this weekend coming up. So that'll be coming up soon too, and that's probably my number 2. I think this would be my number 3 favorite film so far of all time in my books. So we start off with Rainn Wilson's character, Robert Fishman. His bandmates call him Fish. He's in this band called Vesuvius. Their manager, I guess, gets this call saying that Matchbook Records wants to pick them up to open for Whitesnake, but the owner of the label wants his nephew in. So they abandon Fish. Fish chases after them. And then we go to 20 years later where Fish is in an office job, and obviously Vesuvius is this big, huge, massive band. And they've come out with quite a few new albums. Everybody thought they were going to flop, and then they came out with another album. And I guess this is another new album on top of the one that people thought was going to be the one after the flop. So this guy at work that he works with is about to play the new Vesuvius, or is playing the new Vesuvius album for somebody on the line, and then Fish attacks him and gets fired from his job. His girlfriend breaks up with him, so he has to move in with his sister. And his nephew Matt is also in a band called ADD, which we all know stands for Attention Deficit Disorder. So that's what they named their band. They bring him in as their drummer. Curtis is the lead singer in the band. And I can't think of the girl's name in this movie for some reason, so just give me a second. So Curtis is the name of the lead singer in this band. And at first he's kind of skeptical. They do their first gig at the school prom. And unfortunately Fish blows it because he gets a little carried away. He hasn't been in the business for 20 years, obviously, so he does a drum solo where there shouldn't even be a drum solo, which was actually one of the funnier scenes in the movie. So then, after that, they get this. They kick Fish out of the band. Oh, Amelia, that's her name. They kick Fish out of the band because he ruined the gig. Or he ruined their prom gig. So they say Curtis basically says if Fish can get them a gig, he's allowed back in the band. He's able to get them a gig in Indiana. So they steal his sister's car, and they get pulled over on the way to Indiana. And then she basically grounds Matt, and of course all the kids get grounded, and Fish gets kicked out of his sister's house. He has to go live in a restaurant, so Matt hooks him up with a video recorder, which Fish thinks is a mic, and he ends up being uploaded to YouTube by Matt's sister. I mean, it's their uncle, so it was funny, though, because he's drumming naked the entire time, so he gets all these hits. Matchbox, or was it Matchbook? I can't remember if there was Matchbox or Matchbook Records. I think it was Matchbox. Let me look that up. It should say on here. Do 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 do. Huh. It's weird. Anyway, so it doesn't say whether it was Matchbox, or Matchbook. It was one of the two. So anyway, they come to the door and say that they want ADD to sign with them, and then they'll put them on the road, basically. So they have this. They shoot these music videos. They eventually start to go on tour, and then they are offered to open for Vesuvius close to the end of the movie. Obviously, we know Fish is reluctant to do that. He doesn't want to. Their manager kind of manipulates Curtis into thinking that Fish is sleeping with his mom, so then Curtis gets mad and says they're opening for Vesuvius, so Fish leaves in anger because he said, hey, I thought we weren't going to do that, and Curtis gets angry with him and says some things that he shouldn't have said. So then Fish goes back to normal life. He starts working with his sister's husband. Eventually Curtis comes back after kind of turned into a little bit of an asshole himself. He goes to Fish and says that he needs him in the band. It's not the same without him. So Fish says, yes, he'll come back. So he opens for Vesuvius, and I think the scene where he meets Vesuvius again after 20 years, obviously they've been living in Britain long enough to all have British accents, which was kind of funny because they definitely looked more British when they came out again in that meeting scene anyway, and yeah. So then they open for Vesuvius. You find out that Vesuvius is lip-syncing their songs, so they get booed off stage. ADD gets called back on, and then they fire their manager from Matchbox or Matchbook Records, whichever one it was. Sorry, I can't think of which one it was now, for whatever reason. But they fire him, they go out and play their last song, and everybody's happy. They get to go home at the end of the day knowing that, I guess for Fish it was really incredible because him knowing that he used to be in that band and play with that band, to see them flop with their new bandmates would be pretty incredible. So some interesting facts about this movie that I've actually learned from watching some of the special features before is that Rainn Wilson actually learned how to play the drums because he had no drumming experience whatsoever. So yeah, before they really, he actually learned on his, how to play the drums on his own during, I believe, the filming of the movie. So most of what you see is, or I think all of it actually, at least most to all, is actually him playing the drums in real life. And I believe that Will Arnett, who was the lead singer, actually did some of the vocals. I could be wrong about that. And Fred Armisen, who is on one of the late night shows, I can't remember which, actually does play guitar. So it's not like they didn't have real musicians in this movie. These guys actually put in work for this movie, which makes it that much better as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, this movie is a definite 10 out of 10. The comedy is great, the storyline is good, and it's actually like a very it's like a very wholesome family type movie because the bond that they build, even though there is quite an age difference, is really good because it is Curtis kind of basically Fish is like a second or the real father figure kind of thing for Curtis. So I mean, it does kind of work because he sees him as a father figure because I guess Curtis's dad wasn't really there for him when he was a kid, obviously. So, and then Fish comes into his life and basically gives him the life of his dreams, really, because opening for a band like Vesuvius would have been really cool. if they were a real band. I know for the movie, obviously they were supposed to be real, but yeah, that would be definitely cool opening up for a band that you really admired. I would love to do that someday. So who knows? I'm still young. It's possible, and I have been writing a few songs, so maybe someday I'll upload that to this channel. But I'm far way off from getting that set up. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's just stick with what we're doing for now. Um, but anyhow, yeah, I think I've covered everything now that I can about this film. So please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this film if you've seen it before. If not, please go watch it. And if you haven't seen The Office, go watch that first, and then watch this, because you need to understand Rainn Wilson's sense of humor to a T. If you don't find him funny, oh my god, I don't know how you couldn't find him funny. His comedy is just delivered so well. And that is all for now. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.